I'm here at ODTUG KSCOPE 25 in beautiful Grapevine, Texas, and I am here to talk about Shadow AI with Kellyn Gorman from Redgate. Kellyn, start by explaining what is Shadow AI.
Shadow AI is the AI that is being used in organizations that have not gone through straight policies and governance to say these are products that have been authorized by those IT. It's always a challenge that we see. Folks, we all know this, I think, is, going back to the old Oracle days when a set of users or a group within our user community that was part of our organization would say, I need this product. And you're like, oh, that's not on our platform. We're an Oracle shop. Let's not do that. And all of a sudden they would end up buying it out of their budget. It would be on a server under somebody's desk. And then all of a sudden it was the DBA's problem or the user problem. This is kind of going that same direction, but now we're talking about AI. So all of a sudden we have the free version of ChatGPT and people like uploading, company data into a free product. And it's a little scary.
So it's not a new thing. I mean, we've had Shadow IT. I think as soon as we gave everybody copies of Excel and gave them a programming language within it, they're all building their own applications. But what we have now with AI is it's happening at scale.
It is.
So it's not just the finance department building their thing or somebody building an access database. You have, by some measures, as many as 85% of white collar workers are using some AI tool. What can companies do to get a handle on this?
It's not just putting in those policies and governance. It's making sure that you have products in-house, as no matter if you're looking at third-party tools to protect, making sure that it is at the firewall level, that it is at the system level. And I'm going to say Microsoft here, like MS Defender, or look at Xscaler, that ensures that if somebody opens up the free version of ChatGPT and you put it on the exclusion list, they can't use it. They can't use it in your network. It doesn't happen. That if you have something that says, this is my authorized tools that you can utilize, if you're inside your little sandbox, this is all right. You can test this out for your users that may know enough to be really, really dangerous, and you trust them to start testing things. They're allowed to use that there, but they can't use it in the general populace of your organization. Those products are extremely important. And there's tons of them out there right now. Everybody's starting to come up to speed on this because they're realizing this is a real problem. Harmonic has done this research data that's out there that says just ChatGPT, the free version, sitting in Q1 2025, we're up to about 16% PII sitting out there. It doesn't matter if you're talking about authorization codes. Doesn't matter if we're talking about employee data. It doesn't matter if we're talking about PII from users and actual employee customer data, secure code that we don't want out there. That is happening every single day, and it's increasing about 55% every single month.
Yeah, I mean, ChatGPT is, by most measures, either the fourth or fifth top website on Earth right now.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
I see a lot of companies that don't know what else to do with AI. So they do one of two things. They will either buy everyone licenses of some AI tool, ChatGPT or Copilot are the places they start. And then I think they tell everybody, make sure that you've got this logo in the top corner so you're not using the kind of open version, but it's really easy to miss. There's that approach. Generally not a lot of training, throw a tool at it. The other approach is they'll spend 6 months to infinity months coming up with a data governance group, and that doesn't really enforce it. So what you're talking about is a way to make sure people do the right thing. Because people want to, right? Like, people are not out there going, oh, I know it would be a lot of fun is to give next year's financials out to ChatGPT. Are there quick hits companies can do to make sure that we are doing the right thing and help people make the good choice?
I think that's part of it, getting those products that can help your IT organization. They can't be everywhere. They absolutely can't be everywhere. Know that, like, when we start talking about MS Defender for cloud apps, that's going to stop it at the cloud level, not just in the house if they install something. Be able to do that governance and hold people accountable. If they are uploading this data, because we're seeing this. I mean, I worked with a company a couple weeks ago that the users thought they were helping out on a project and uploaded a whole bunch of leasing data into ChatGPT. You start talking about that, you realize how much information is sitting in a leasing document. That's terrifying. But this is happening every single day. So if you can come up not just with those policies, those governance, but those products that will keep people from doing this in your network, and then also holding them accountable would make a big difference. Start to educate your users on the difference of ephemeral sessions within AI, to keep them understanding the difference between Copilot versus the free versions, that your in-house AI products are very different. I mean, it just looks like a black box to most users. They don't comprehend that, and you need to take that time, and yes, it's more training, but it's worth it.
I was talking to someone last week that said, yes, I do upload confidential information, but I make sure I say don't add it to the training data, and then I delete the chat afterward. Well, Lisa says at the time we're recording this, OpenAI can't actually delete the chat.
Exactly.
New York Times has placed an injunction on them that says they actually have to store it. So they think they're deleting it. It's in a database somewhere out there. And I don't think that anybody, IT, the C-level leadership says we really want that data stored out there. Maybe it's going to show up in a court case somewhere, show up on our competitors. Is it time that we start doing open source models controlled in our own data center? Or is it we can still use something more public just with some guardrails around it?
If you're not using your own AI, you are the product. Just accept and understand that. Most of our legal precedents, when we start talking about court cases, are back to 2018. It's 2025. That's 7 years. The cost to organizations when data is breached is not, it's a cost of business. They're looking at this going, I can make billions of dollars in revenue versus how many thousands of dollars in penalties, hundreds of thousands you're going to charge me. I'm all right with that. And that is a scary world to be in, but that is the world we are in. Data professionals, I think many of us that have been around for 30, 40 years are looking at this and going, did we not learn from history? Are we not learning from the data breaches of, yesterday? Right now, there's an AT&T breach that we're looking at that AT&T came around and said, somebody took the last 3 breaches from last year and may have just put it all together in AI, and they're launching it saying it's a new breach. That's the world that we are seeing. And for us to be able to come back and say, we as data professionals learned that GDPR, people were saying, I'm not responsible for this in blockchain. Yes, you are. But those sessions cannot be forgotten. We are dealing with that now in AI. We do not learn from history. And I think for technology with AI, it's really a critical time in the world. The age of AI is here and we have to come up to it. And we know this probably better than anyone.
Yeah, I think we're at an inflection point. I think late in life, we will look back and tell tales of yesteryear, and there will be a before AI and an after.
Yes.
It's like my grandfather used to talk about, like, I remember when there weren't computers, and like I'm sure his grandfather said, I remember when we didn't have electricity. Like, we're going to look back and go and try to explain to, generation beta what the world was like when you had to think deep thoughts and come up with them on your own and do your own research, and now that's all in one place. If you could give a bit of advice to that next generation of data professionals, tell them what to do.
Definitely make AI your collaborator. Bring them into your organizations and do it in-house. I think third-party solutions that are available. I mean, I was at Microsoft through the entire build of Copilot. I watched it. Put it in everything. Do you need it in everything? Does it provide value? That's always that challenge. People don't think about that because they may have a mandate that says for your next annual review, you have to have something in there that looks just like this because this worked for somebody else. Think about the reasons that you're building. It has to provide value. You must justify everything that you're doing and that it is ethically done, that it is done for not just profit, that is not just done because the other person next door to you is doing it. There is a site called the AI Graveyard. I don't know if you've seen it from Dang. It's so much fun to go on because you see all of these AI projects that have gone and laid to waste. And as I was writing keynotes for other places on AI, the thing that I found interesting, as much as people say that the EU is behind us in AI, I found when I was looking for good AI versus bad AI, I was finding a lot of it coming out of the EU and the UK because they were held accountable for what they were producing. So you would go out there and they were saying, we're going to use AI with drones and we're going to find and locate all of those forest fires that are just starting so that we can protect firemen from being, exposed to that. Versus me coming, to some of the US ones and going, we are going to use a whole bunch of GPUs with a robot arm and find where's Waldo. And I'm like, thank you, you've now crushed my childhood, but was there a reason to actually burn up these GPUs? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love that idea that we're using AI for the right reasons, not just because we have AI.
I like it. Don't throw technology at it just because technology is cool, but actually pause and ask the why questions. Like, why are we
Absolutely.
actually doing this? Speaking as someone who goes to a lot of AI conferences, I've been right in the heart of Silicon Valley to the AI Summit right there in downtown San Francisco.
Yeah.
The farther you get away, and I've all the way to I went to one in Amsterdam where the second in command at the UN over AI was actually talking. The closer you get to Silicon Valley, it's much more about if we can do it, we should do it, and it's not our problem to see the impact. The
Exactly.
farther away you get, it's like, okay, but we kind of need to be adults about this. Now, there's a saying that's come up, the US innovates while the EU regulates. There's probably a balance somewhere in the middle. But
I agree.
I think it starts with your point, just to ask why. Like, why are we doing this? Does this make good sense? Does this help people, help people do the right thing? It's awesome. Thank you, Kellyn. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate the time. Until next time, keep asking those good questions.
3, 2,